get started. Commissioner Yauer,
Here.
Commissioner Rosales.
Here.
Kershaw's here, Commissioner Schindler.
Here.
Commissioner Hummel won't be here today, and Carol Susan, the County Clerk's Office.
Here.
Please stand and join us in open prayer and stay standing for the pledge. Heavenly Father, we ask that you be with us as we make decisions for the county today. We ask that you be with everybody in their Christmas travels, and we ask that we pray for rain. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Play ball.
Thank you. We're going to do a little skip because we have some bids to open. You do citizens? No, I want to do, well, is there anything, I don't think, does anybody want to talk about open bids? Is that it on anybody's deal?
No.
Okay. Let's go to number 18 and 19. Luana, did we get any bids?
Yes.
I think we like a little bit longer than mine, not much. Okay, number 18 is going to be open, discuss, accept, reject bids for the building awning at the way station. And this one is the way station?
The one's on your right, I
Okay,
think.
there we go. This one is from Grande Valley Builders.
Grande.
The total bid submitted from Grande Valley Builders Incorporated for a metal building, concrete piers, galvanized roof panels, painted wall panels, screws, light fixtures, primary and secondary structures, $183,000. You still with us, Tracy? The next one is from Swartz's Welding. And this one has the specs on it too, to include the frame and tells you what gauge everything is. It says the building total is $52,000 and the lights are $6,900 for $58,900. Feeling better, Tracy? And then this one is from Seymour Construction. And this one has the specs and whatnot on it, and it's $88,000. Y'all can trade those around, y'all know more about building healthy. Do you want me to make copies of those real quick so everybody can see them, or y'all just want to pass them?
consider it right now.
Well, we have to vote on it right now. I mean, we can see the sports is low. We have to check and see.
I mean, if you want time to review, we don't have to do it right now, it's on the agenda if we wanted to. I mean, we can put it back on the agenda if you want to study it or look at it. There's a lot to absorb just in.
I think this is pretty plain. I don't think this is very much we can decide on sports today on what we heard so far. But on the parking lot, we can't do it today because we have to go through some ways from this basically.
Turn it on.
Pete, do you want to go over these bills?
Do you want me to come back later today?
I think we should look over them more thoroughly. See what all is included or see something. I trust that sports has everything in there if you want to decide on sports to do. But I think we need time to look over them.
If you want time to review it, I'm fine.
Yes,
Okay,
is that all right?
that's fine, we can look at them. The number 19 is,
Excuse me. I have a question on the building.
huh?
I have a question on the building.
We're not, oh, to the building, yes.
Has the building been signed off on? Pete? Are we done with the building?
What building?
What does it have
The
to do
annex.
with the awning?
No,
Well, my question is, since it has to do with the building.
It's the way station we just got to talk about.
this
Oh,
is the way station.
I've had,
The ones that.
apologize.
Okay. Now we're gonna do the parking lot, if that's what you wanted to ask a question about, Maurice.
Sorry?
We're gonna do the parking lot, we're opening bids for the parking lot now. No? Okay.
Oh, no, I'm fine with it.
Okay, Carol, we're going to 19. Okay. This first one that we have is from Cummings Paving and Recycling. Dang it. If we want to do this good, we should do it. Pete, this is a book. I mean, but if anybody wants to hear a bid total, let me see, $115,200.
115, is that asphalt? He said he was gonna submit 2 bids. Is that concrete?
Cement stabilized on site subbase, below, just to be placed below concrete surface. Okay, so there's, he said there was gonna be 2 in here?
He said he was submitting 2 bids, but he couldn't make sure. I remember saying.
I mean, I have one for $289,700. For, the way you broke this out, I don't quite, I would have to
Yeah,
sit
we'll
down
have
and
to
figure
read
it
it.
out.
Just, if you have the 2 prices, we've got 2 prices, I think one of them
Because this
is
is a,
asphalt.
okay, then that's, something's wrong here. You can't have $289,700 and then this, but on one of them, for, this one says, Cummings Paving proposes the following at the job reference site. The edge of the lot is to be a concrete border with 6 inches wide and a height of 18 with steel tied into surface. Parking lot is to be complete with all markings. And that's for $76,200. So there's 2 bids in here, but I don't understand. I have to do this in full to understand what he's saying.
Well, if he submitted one for asphalt, that can't be considered because that's not what was requested in the bid.
Okay.
Concrete
But
was.
see, he's got a geotech study in here, and I don't understand why that's with the dollar amount on the geotech study, and I don't understand why. I know nothing about paving. So, That's what that
Okay.
looks like. Ma'am, somebody said something?
My church,
Oh,
that makes no sense.
it did. And then I have another one on the parking lot from Seymour Construction. This one's a little more reader friendly, and it's for $200,207. And he's got the specs attached where it tells you how many inches the stabilized base is, how wide, height, everything.
Next one, 2 bids on that.
Yes, sir. We had 3, I believe, on.
Three on the first.
You guys want time to go over those?
We'll have to go through everything that's in there, what they discussed, the steel, pounds of concrete and all that. It's gonna take some time to go through this. We can't make a decision on this at this time.
All
It's
right.
gonna take a full hour to go through this.
Okay. I'm gonna give them to you, Pete.
That's the only.
Yeah.
That's all we have.
Yes, let me give them to Pete because let's set it, here's the other 3 that are on.
He's in construction. So we're gonna take no action right now?
Right, we opened them.
When do y'all, who wants to go over these with me? All of you? I know James will. Definitely.
I trust James, I mean, I'll go over them with you, Pete, but I wouldn't have a lot of input on something like that.
I'll make them see now.
We go over.
Okay.
Y'all know more about the construction than that. I know about the money.
Y'all wanna do it today?
Yeah, might as well do it.
All right, after we do the did you see what the price is on?
As long as you know, as long as you're not making a decision out of court, you're fine. Just-
No, we just have to see that they meet, put it in the law.
You wanna go over it and then, set it for tomorrow morning within the 24 hours?
Yeah, recess the meeting and then.
Recess the meeting until tomorrow morning, we can get it done tomorrow morning.
We can, instead of adjourn, you just want to recess and then come back?
Recess and then we'll come back.
We can do that.
Thank you.
Okay? Everybody's good?
Okay.
All right. So what time tomorrow morning? What time do you want to do that?
9.
Where did we go? Okay, so let's go back to, Carol, will you just please capture the document that didn't make a decision? Number 5, citizens to be heard.
I have to. Mr. Yarder?
Good morning. I'd like to speak on item number 6 and item number 9. Item number 6, number 1 does not comport to requirements established by the Commissioner's Court for an item in the agenda, or on the agenda, in that there is no author, and this agenda item is not specific as required by the rules of the Commissioner's Court. It really doesn't say anything other than expenses, and I don't know what those expenses might be, and I don't think anybody else does either. And to give approval for unspecified expenses, I think would be contrary to the actions of the Commissioner's Court. Item number 9, $36,000 an acre for 5 acres for road and bridge. I think one of the things that the Commissioner's Court has failed to do is bring and ask Road Administrator Mr. Beatrick, number 1, if 5 acres is sufficient for his requirement. I've spoken to Mr. Beatrick, and I've driven big trucks, specifically hauling rock. I can tell you 5 acres will be taken up just with stockpiles and given room, and then still having to have enough room to maneuver with a truck and a 38-foot trailer, or 40-foot trailer. Secondly, $36,000 is an outrageous price to pay for a piece of property. According to the newspaper, the commissioners, the presiding officer and Pete Yauer have stated that this is a going price for rural property in the county. I've done some checking, and I find that it's an outrageous price, and I haven't found anyone that would disagree with me. I would ask the Commissioner Court to consider, first of all, discussing the matter with Mr. Beatrick to find out what his space requirements are, rather than the Commissioner Court making that decision for him without consultation. And Mr. Schindel, I would really appreciate it if you would do that, just as you did with the EMS director. He set us straight that the building at the hospital would not meet the requirements for EMS for Karnes County. Thank you.
Fine, Malone?
Oh, I'm sorry, Bonnie.
That's okay. I'm speaking as a citizen, not as the county treasurer. I will have to ditto on what Mr. Yarder said about the 5 acres on Highway 123. That's a lot of my tax dollars to be spending on a piece of property that may not be sufficient to what we are looking for. We don't need to be jumping the gun on anything right now. There's probably property out there that we've been looking for. One of the buildings that you wanted to put out there was a public meeting building. Alosa Water has a wonderful, wonderful public meeting building that they allow people to use. We use it every month for Relay for Life. It's a nice building, so for another building like that, I'm not sure that would be something the county would need to be doing. Then you're involved in who's gonna rent it out, who's gonna be doing the booking, who's gonna do the cleaning, etc. So I just really think y'all need to reconsider doing that, and why are we paying for any type of boring when we don't even own the property? Thank you very much.
Number 6 on the agenda is consideration and action on a resolution expressing intent to reimburse expenditures to be incurred by Karnes County, Texas. What that is, it's in your package. That is from Tom Holland, and he actually wrote that agenda language for me. It is on the jail expenses. And what they did is when I called him, because I was kind of concerned about that agenda language too, he said it was proper agenda language because the document itself includes the exhibit. It tells-
Where's that at?
It's in your package.
On the agenda page.
Yes, that's it.
What page is it? So who's the author?
Tom Holland wrote that for me.
He would be the author?
Tom Holland is he wrote it for me. And what it is we needed, remember when we did the courthouse, we did a reimbursement resolution? This is a reimbursement resolution for expenses we're incurring on the jail.
Reimbursing.
Lorraine Daly, the bond passed, but we're selling all the bonds at once. And so like with the courthouse, what we did is we did a reimbursement resolution, and I asked Tom to do the same for the jail that he had done for the courthouse.
So this would be reimbursing Lorraine.
It's for us to pay Lorraine, and we can reimburse after we sell the bonds.
Okay, we're spending money out of our unencumbered balance, but we already have the bond approval, and the bond haven't been sold yet, so that money is available when the bond's sold. So we're just spending the money out of our unencumbered balance. Is that
No, we haven't
correct?
spent anything. We haven't paid her. All of her bills are outstanding.
But that is what this
Right.
resolution will do.
Yes, the
Allow us-
resolution will allow us to use money out of unencumbered funds. It's a reimbursement resolution.
And then when the bonds are sold, when they intend to go on the market in January, is that correct?
Mhm.
And they will go back to the unencumbered balance from that point.
And every time that we do a reimbursement, it comes to Commissioners Court and we sign off on it, or do
Yes.
we?
Yes.
Each one comes back to Commissioners Court?
Yes, because they're out of payment bill cycle. Well, this one is out of cycle, right? These,
It will be, yes, if this is
we have it on the
approved.
agenda. But yes, we'll have to approve those bills.
And Mr. Busman, I'm sorry, because of the reason it was written too, I had a question on it too, just like you did that you called. Is that okay on all this?
I don't believe the agenda item is valid, because the agenda item is not for it's to give notice to you people. It's also to give notice to people of Towns County. When you look at that, you have no idea what you're talking about.
He said this is how he puts it on every other agenda that he does it for, every
That
other
doesn't mean
county.
it's correct.
The only reason I asked was because I didn't understand, I didn't have like, you know how usually you tell us to put an explanation on everything? This one didn't actually have like an explanation, so that's the only reason I questioned it.
He said it's valid. He said that's how he puts it on every other county.
Well, just, it is not sufficient. And because the people that are here have no idea what you're talking about. And it's supposed to be, we went through this when Alger Kendall was our county judge. And we had a lot of problems with it. And it has to give notice to the people who are in the county. that
In
they
other
can
words, for them to understand what's.
Yeah. This here, you put anything in there, as long as it's in their paperwork. How do you know that they're furnishing you what you're supposed to have, because you don't know what you're supposed to have? I say you can't do it, but go right ahead.
All of this is filed in the county clerk's office, and wants to see if
Yes.
they can see it, is that correct?
What?
It doesn't
what is
tell you
filed?
anything.
All this will be filed in the county clerk's office.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
After she signs it, it's the
It's a
reimbursement
certificate of
resolution.
resolution.
Yes,
It's what, the resolution that we're passing, to spend money out of this.
right, right, it will be in the minutes.
Did you want to recognize?
Always available there.
No, he doesn't have one. He's not. We can go call him. We can recess and go call him. We can go in there. I mean,
No, I mean, all I did, I just had a question to our
You
county
gonna call the
attorney,
guy
I just
that
didn't
told
want to, just because I didn't understand
I
it.
called him and he said this is how he writes it for every county.
It doesn't mean it's correct.
Excuse the board. I don't think anybody has an objection that Ms. Daly be reimbursed for her expenses. I would suggest to the court that the wording be changed to reflect exactly what you said up there, to reimburse Lorraine Daly for expenses for her work. I mean, nobody has an objection to that, but nobody knows, if I take this to anybody in the county and ask them to tell me what that means, they can't tell me. It doesn't say anything.
Could we pass a motion and put a stipulation that that's exactly what it's for, so it doesn't mean for anything else?
But the reason that the agendas are posted,
Ross prepared this agenda
what I
and
mean,
Mr.
like-
Collin did it. I had both of them look at it and he's our bond counsel. And if our bond counsel tells me that this is right, I mean, and I called him, I specifically called him back about this and he said this is how he puts it on every agenda.
But you know what I'm asking, sometimes we put a stipulation in to make sure that that's where it ends, that's why.
well, what I'm saying is this does not give notice to anyone who picks this up and looks at it as to what you're going to do. There's no numbers, there's nothing in here. So whatever you want to do, you go ahead, but you're doing it at your own peril.
Those attorneys work for the county, it's not vice versa. If we want something that's more specific, then that's what they do.
I asked him to write an agenda item if he wrote it. Still on my email, I'll share it with you. He says it's sufficient.
I would trust Tom Holland, he's over what the proper is, he said the proper. Not the meeting, because he said the date. And we need to pay Lorraine Daly,
So is there a motion?
so therefore I would make a motion that we, resolution, tend to reimburse expenditures to Lorraine Daily on, incurred by Orange County on their jail fund.
I would just include in your motion, Pete, too, that it would be out of the jail bond proceeds when the jail bonds are sold.
All right, that is, just come out of unencumbered balance and then be reimbursed out of the jail bond funds when they're sold after January.
Did you get that, Bill?
I will.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
There was no second.
There was no second.
I second.
Yeah, the judge seconded.
Sorry, we didn't hear you.
You know those? What'd you do? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed?
I'm opposed just because of the wording, that's the only, not because I'm against her getting paid, but because of the wording.
Carol, you get a stamp all those for me. Oh, wait, not yet, after the sign. And I'll give them to her. The next item on the agenda is acknowledgement on record that Murphy Oil is willing to pay up to $62,000 for surface material to be selected by Karnes County and administered by Karnes County on County Road 354, and that's Jeff.
Yeah, Murphy Oil is going to haul out 1.1 mile of road, and the way we're gonna do it, we're gonna lay the material down. Any pipes to be replaced, we're gonna replace pipes. They're gonna give us the trucking and the material. We will pick up all the bills from the vendors, and then we will mail it directly to the oil companies. The oil company will distribute the money to the vendors then, which will not go through Karnes.
They'll pay the vendors directly.
Yes, not through
Versus
us.
paying the county.
Then the invoices will need to be made to Murphy Oil,
Yes,
not
yes.
Karnes County,
Right.
because they will be subject to sales
Right.
tax.
Mr. Kane Hannon with Murphy Oil will be, I've already given the list of the vendors that we'll be using. There'll be 3 different ones. One will be B&G Materials out of Pettus with a 1-inch. For the remaining part of the road that's unpaved, which is 1.1 miles down to the end of the road, and Martin Marietta Materials out of San Antonio will be applying, will be furnishing us with all the coal mix for all the pavement repair on the road. So, and this is a project, actually, Mr. Busselman started back in September, and so, or December when we finally got sealed on it. But it basically was a joint agreement with us. We do all provide the equipment, the labor, and they provide the materials. And that's kind of where we're getting with all your oil companies, not just Murphy. You know, they're willing to help it as long as the county steps in and helps somewhere too. So it's a good deal for everybody. Overall, it'll be 2.2 miles of road redone.
Joint venture deal together, where everybody works together.
How wide are you gonna set that road?
25 foot.
Yeah.
25 foot, 6 inches?
On the base material, it'll be 8, compacted to 6. On the paved portion, which Mr. Smith had previously done, it'll be to repair the shoulders at 4 inches thick of coal mix and to widen the road because it's only right now 18 foot wide. So when your trucks are running, Murphy has a facility at the end of the road, so they have trucks constantly on that road. Of course, the shoulders are,
Yeah.
pads that run on the side are just breaking away, so we're going to widen the road to 25 foot wide for the original part of the paved section road and repair any paved areas that are in there. And they'll pay up to $62,000, not to exceed that.
Mary?
What is the total cost? Do you have an estimated total cost for that? Total reconstruction?
Well, we're not figuring our labor and stuff into it, just what the material's gonna cost us $62,000.
So that's strictly the material.
Yes, that's strictly material, yes ma'am.
So at some point, you'll know what the
Material
total
and trucking.
cost
Yeah,
will be.
exactly. You can figure maintainers now, average for maintainers is anything from $125 to $165 an hour for maintainers plus a water truck, so.
Probably after Mary, probably afterwards, just because I did this for 8 years, it'll probably be, our part will probably be over 62,000 if you take, if you go with the maintainer hours, the man hours, the piping, and everything that we put is gonna be over what they put in.
Our
Compactor.
situation is on that road, 354 among other roads, it's destroyed. It's being destroyed. So we're stuck fixing it one way or the other.
Right.
You know, the taxpayers are fixing the road one way or the other. So
This is a
what
help.
you can work to get out of them, if you can get just some material out of
It's
them,
good.
because they're not gonna do the whole thing, and that's clear. As far as they're concerned, it's a public road, you can go over the permit deal, you can argue it out in court, they could care less.
So it's a joint deal, you work with them and they'll meet you somewhere. So
Which is a good thing.
exactly.
Yeah, because if they wouldn't do it, it costs us $120,000.
Exactly.
There you go, we're getting 60
So-
for nothing.
Yeah.
Now, anything's better than nothing.
Exactly. Yes, sir. And we got some other roads that we're working on that I think is gonna work out the same way. It's just doing a lot of talking, a lot of visiting with people and hoping we get there where we can start doing more of this.
That's kind of our whole point of it, is to get your oil companies to help in as much as they can, save taxpayers as much as we can.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Rick. Number 8 is to discuss, approve selection of Daly and Spear Architects to provide professional architectural engineering services to EMS, Road and Bridge, and the public meeting building department.
Good morning. I've been to several meetings where y'all have discussed projects related to improvements for EMS, Road and Bridge, and the public meeting building. And even last week, we were looking at a property and questions came up even today about is 5 acres enough? Looking at sites, is the site adequate, et cetera. So my thoughts were, if you go ahead and engage Daly and Spear Architects for these projects, we can certainly help you and assist in making these decisions. In other words, we would meet with Road and Bridge, we would meet with EMS, and we would meet with the whoever the county assigns to the public meeting building project if you go forward with that project. And we would look at their space requirements, we would do a full program and study of what is needed both now and for growth in the future, what existing facilities can be reused, if any, what facilities are out there, what property is out there, and then what space is needed. And then we would be able to assist in doing site plan studies and layouts and make sure that as you go forward, that we're looking at all the options for you and taking care of that. All of these projects are going to be public buildings, are going to require, public buildings and meeting buildings are going to require an architect to be involved. So now would be the best time to go ahead and engage your architect. And we already are working down here in Reeves County, and we would love to assist you in this. Engaging us now can definitely save you money down the road and helping you move forward with these projects. I put together a draft contract. If you look under the first orange tab, item number 1, on the items I'll be speaking on. And I structured this essentially the same structure as we did for the jail contract. So it will give you full architectural services and engineering services, structural, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and architectural. And most importantly, we can put language in here like we did on the jail project. If you don't move forward with the project, you'll only owe us for the time expended. But again, engaging us now will save you money down the road and making sure that you make the right decisions on each of these projects. And I know that they also are going to interrelate in the sense that, you know, space given up by one entity can be used by the other entity. And I don't know all the details yet because I haven't been involved, but just in listening to the discussions with the court, I believe that now would be a good time to engage your architect, and I know that we can help you with these projects and save you money in the long run.
I know if we build public buildings, we have to have an architect. Engineer and everything has to be checked. And I noticed in here, you have your wage, principal, principal $100 an hour, engineer $95 an hour, project manager $85, architect $75. What's the difference between principal and architect?
Principal would be that person that is a principal of the firm, the owner of the firm, and then architect would be an architect in the firm that is not an owner in the firm. But none of these additional services would apply unless you approve. We would be working for a percentage of the construction cost like we do on all our other projects. And the only time any additional service, hourly compensation would come and be involved is if we came to you and said, you're asking us to do something that's outside of our basic services, And then we would negotiate that with you and charge you by the hour if you tell us to go forward with that. But this contract, just like on your jail contract, this contract would cover everything in our base fee with everything that we would need to be doing for you on this project. The additional services very rarely come into play, but contractually, we need to tell you what we would charge per hour if you told us to go forward. And typically, what we like to do also, if we're going to do additional services, we would negotiate normally a fixed fee so that it's not just open-ending and you're wondering, well, how much is this gonna cost us in the long run? So essentially, we would be working, and like I said, I structured this the same as we did the jail contract at, for a percentage of the construction cost of the project once that budget is established and the entire scope is established. So the initial work that we would be doing for you, you wouldn't be getting a bill for a little while because we'd be working with you up front to start establishing the scope and developing exactly what you need. How big of a building do you need? You know, what site do you need? What spaces do you need? And we'd be looking at your current needs and then your growth, because these areas are growing, these services are growing exponentially as your county grows in this, where your economy is.
Judge,
Yes, ma'am.
Luana, do we have money to build a building?
We have budgeted money for Road and Bridge specifically, as well as a facility for EMS.
But for a public building?
Not unless it's incorporated in with one of those other buildings.
Yes,
Just,
Joe.
can I say something?
Uh-huh.
You know, we're kind of jumping into something here that's, right now, I got other problems in the deal trying to get employees and stuff. I'd rather see us do something else so we could work with this county and get it done, but let's kind of hold the reins back a little bit and let's kind of venture out a little bit more, because I'm thinking building a building on a trash dump. And then for us to set up oiling stations, because down the line, we will start paving roads in this county eventually, and eventually we're gonna have to have a setup for having our tar machines and everything, the big tanks set up, and this stuff is gonna start walking on us on this trash, because trash is gonna keep rotting until it's totally gone. And I think that's gonna be a mistake. And then what kind of consequences are gonna come out, affected the people that are gonna be around that area, working there, the gases and stuff that are gonna be coming out of the ground. That concerns me a lot. You know, why should we endanger our people buying a trash dump? I think we need to look a little farther.
So that was he's speaking, I think, more to the site, which is that next agenda item. On the ground, what existing conditions are at the site. So site selection is real important. And if we're engaged, we can help you find the best, most economical site for your projects. And if you don't go forward with the public meeting building, we can structure the contract to, again, say, this is just for projects that you move forward with. If you decide a public meeting building is not something that you want, then we would not be moving forward with that particular portion of the contract.
All right, then aside from the location, the question is, do we want to go ahead with planning for a road and bridge facility? Do we want to go ahead and plan for an EMS facility? Do we want to plan for a public meeting building? Or what do we want to plan for? Or do we want to hire an architect and get started on this planning right now? Do we want to wait until 5 years from now, or what?
As far as the public meeting building option also, I do know the city of Kennedy is contemplating using some of their 4B funds to establish a public meeting building. So we might be kind of redundant, adding too many buildings, which that money could be used.
I just mentioned that
Right.
the site could be used for that the
Sure.
other day, so that's why it's in here. I don't know what I mentioned.
Right.
That could be scratched off, easy.
Go ahead, Vicki.
First off, thank y'all for everything y'all done for Road and Bridge. 'Cause I can stand up there with confidence now and say the unit is headed in the right direction. Everything's great. And we're getting there. And everywhere that we've worked, people are happy and they're happy. We got 586 miles of roads to cover. And 520 of it's in pretty sad shape. And it's been fortunate to get to work with the citizens and meet the people that I have, really great people in the county. But thank y'all for all the equipment. What Road and Bridge needs, we're vice with the building we've had. I don't know exactly how long the building's been standing there. I've been there 3 years, so I know the unit system's been in it 4 years. What we need is employees and people to take care of the citizens on the road. What I see is buying property, build a $500,000 facility for 14 people. You know, whatever the total price comes out to be, plus buying the property and all of that. A few years from now, I worked Oilfield 12 years, can work for the county. I love it, it's great, money's great. You're gonna work, but the money's great. Problem is, every new area in the state of Texas, I work from South Texas all the way to Mississippi, has been the greatest, biggest thing that's ever hit every county that it's went into, and it's got a 20 to 40 year shelf life and all of this. 3, 4, 5 years down the road, it's gone. 10 years from now, Kennedy will look like Alice, Texas. And if any of y'all been down there, you'll know what I'm talking about. There will be buildings and property and facilities for sale all over this county. Already gated, fenced, shops. It will be there. If we're sufficed with what we have now, personally, I don't see why we need a new facility. We need to work in other areas. It's for us. I mean, it's just Road and Bridge. EMS is in dire need of facility. There's no doubt about that. That place is horrible. And if anybody don't do it, I pity them guys over there. It is bad. You know, we help them clean the water out of it when it rains. So it's in sad and dire need of them needing a new facility. But us, as far as ourselves, we make it work. And if down the stretch, we can save quite a bit of money or take money and put it in other areas to help Road and Bridge get to where it needs to be and to get the manpower and get the people on the roads, we are getting there. Before 6 months ago, it was a mess, but it's on track and we're getting there now. And that's everybody working together. That's greatly with y'all's help with the stuff that y'all furnished us. But I just see that, you know, if we hang on a while, you will pick up property that's already ready to go for a lot less right in the area of what you're going to pay for the property itself. And it'll already be a complete facility. It's just something to think about. Thank you.
I make a motion to take no action at this time. No, or disapprove it. Take no action on it. Just whatever y'all want to do.
So we do need EMS, right?
We need the EMS. You want to put that in there? Just approve looking for EMS?
Well, wait, now I'm confused, because I thought what we had said at one time is we were gonna leave EMS where EMS and Road and Bridge was, and then move Road and Bridge. I thought that's what we had said.
That's what we discussed.
You better to leave the county yard where it is, build a new building or whatever y'all want.
The only thing that we have to watch with EMS, and Johnny's not here, but, I mean, he explains this to me, and it's one of those things, if you're not familiar with it, you have to hear it re-explained every time. There's rules that they have to follow to be so far out, to be so far away from the hospital before it becomes a paid service. And that's always his concern with some of the sites and stuff that we've looked at. That, you know.
That would be their job.
That would be, figure it out, Lorraine.
We can help, I mean, the structure again of the wording is to help you work on this and figure this out, because I was at that meeting and what EMS said is they wanted to stay in their location and they wanted Road and Bridge to move. But these are the things that we can, again, if we're engaged, we can study this for you and we can tell you these are the pros and the cons. We can work with EMS and look at if EMS stays and Road and Bridge moves, what is the impact, what is the cost of the county? If it happens vice versa, here's the cost, here's the impact to the county.
You do this one thing, you leave the Road and Bridge where it is, and if you build an EMS building, that's one cost. But if you do both, you're gonna knock that out, and that's a cost over there and a cost over here, that's two.
Right.
So let's just do one.
Well, and that's where we'll study and show you all the different options, and then you can make an informed decision if we do plan, we'll put together all the different scenarios for you and what they potentially could cost. And then you can have that all presented to you, and then you can make decisions based on all the studies that we've done instead of, in pieces. And that's really what I was just trying to do, because I've heard this come up several times, and we're talking about different things, and I feel like Daily and Spear can help organize this for you and put together something that will give you all of the facts, working with what is needed, saving money where we can save money. But we don't want to spend any money that doesn't need to be spent.
I would like to do that part. At least I've been working on it, you know what I'm saying? I would like to do that part. I don't know if y'all would or not. That would give, she could go and figure it out. You can talk to Johnny, you can talk to Jeff, you can, you can meet their needs, tailor their needs to, what they feel that they need. I would like to have that part, Laurie. That'd be number 8. So I would like to do
It may
that.
end up, what you said, just moving EMS.
But that way, she's working with it, and she's meeting and tailoring with Jeff, and she's tailoring with Johnny, and Johnny knows what he needs, and Jeff knows what he needs, and
And she comes back with a figure and gives
Exactly.
the best option.
Lorraine, and I think if you could take into consideration what
that's right.
Ricky Jalefka just
Yes.
said as far as future empty properties that
Definitely.
may, if we can survive where we are for 5 or 10 years or whatever,
Exactly.
and not
Our
spend.
goal is going to be our goal is to save you money. What I want in the end for you to come back and say, we're so glad that we engaged you early so that we could save money.
Right.
Not, look how much money.
Get halfway
She-
down the line and then
yes.
go, wow, we could have done
That's
that.
my goal, and that's why, again, I sat here and I listened and I heard. I felt like there was a need.
Would you like to do that? I'd like to do that.
I think we should have the professional plan.
All right.
I'll make the motion to approve selection of Daily and Spears Architect to provide architectural engineering services for EMS, road and bridge, and no public meeting, right?
No, it's just not
Leave that out.
EMS and road and bridge. So let's, you want to amend, when we capture it in minutes, we'll just, we won't.
Leaving out public meeting building
Gotcha,
projects.
we're there.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None, motion carries 4-0. Thank you, Lorraine. Number 9 is to discuss, approve a geotechnical engineering and investigation mooring for 5 acres on Highway 123 and allow DSA architects to provide site development budgets prior to purchasing the property.
I think we should just take no action on that and wait until we get a report from her.
Okay,
That's true.
We're good. All
I
right.
agree with that.
Number 10 is discuss, approve 95% construction documents for the Karnes County Courthouse Phase 1A foundation repairs, and that's Lorraine.
And Chip is here just to do a brief overview, and he has half-size sets. You want to hand those out? Chip is your structural engineer on this project, and this project is going before the Texas Historical Commission to finalize the emergency funding. They approved up to $450,000 for you of 50-50 matching funds to do your foundation repairs. And at that time, you engaged Graham Bloom and Chip, the structural engineer, to prepare documents for that project. December the 14th is the date, which is Friday, is the date that these documents have to be up at Texas Historical Commission, and they need to be approved by the, by Karnes County, so that the official documents that are submitted on the 14th are under your approval, to be considered for this next round of funding for the emergency funding. The preliminary approval is there, and so now, based on the documents that are submitted, the, THC needs to officially award this emergency funding to you. So,
Lorraine, can I ask you just one
Yes.
question? Is this what Sue was talking about when I kind of sent her, when I sent the
yes,
email?
except there is a letter that also has to go that Graham is
Graham's
drafting,
doing that letter for
and
us, right?
he's doing that letter, and he needs to get it down to you for signature, and then it'll have to get emailed up. And
But
since
that's
he's
by
having-
tomorrow, right?
It's due on the 14th, and
That's
he's
tomorrow.
having his procedure, that's tomorrow. He's having his procedure today, and he didn't have it done as of 7 o'clock last night when I've been bugging him. So his office knows, and my office is constantly calling them and telling them, we need this letter. He knows there's the deadline for the letter, and the key is gonna be, are you available tomorrow? If he emails the letter to you, to sign it and email it up to THC.
I mean, I'd like to get that done as soon as possible. I don't wanna be sitting there and something
Last
break
minute.
on us at the last
Yes.
minute. I mean, I don't like doing that.
I'm hoping to get it today. I pushed him Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
And if there's any way we can call and see if we can get somebody up there just to send us, I mean, he can't be wanting to ride it in the morning knowing it's,
His office, as of about 7 o'clock last night, did not have the letter.
can you stay with me after court for a minute?
Yes,
Let's make
I
some
will.
phone calls and see if we can get that letter, because
See
I
what
don't
we
wanna
can
be
do.
in that bind.
Yes. This letter has to be done, it's critical.
Let me ask one question.